Welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. My name is Chris Spear, and I am going to be your guide to enjoying the great outdoors. Now, we're still in the gear section of the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft book, and today we're going to go over metal containers. I know we've talked about this, and I believe I started it off with this being metal containers being one of the most important things that you can have with you when you go into the woods, next to a good belt or sheath knife. And so a metal container is amazing. So we're not going to spend a long time. This episode is not going to be the longest episode that we have out there, but this one is nonetheless extremely important when you head into the woods. So I'm going to go ahead and read this passage, and then we're going to break it down and talk about it. Okay, I'll give you my thought process behind it. It says a metal container such as a nesting canteen or a pot is an invaluable on a trek into the woods. One of the biggest trends in the outdoor world today is a metal water bottle. They are everywhere, from the dollar store to Bass Pro Shops. Do not carry a double insulated water bottle because it can explode if used to boil your water. So that right there is one of the biggest issues when it comes to metal containers in the woods, because everybody thinks, hey, I just got me a killer, cool looking metal container so I can take out into the woods hiking and camping and all that. But if it is double walled and you get in a position to where you have to boil your water to purify it so you could drink it, it's going to explode. It's going to crack. It's not going to be good, because those double walled are insulated. They have some insulation in between there. And what happens when you put it into the fire, the contents in the middle of the jar is cold. The contents on the outside of the jar, which is the insulation, is going to get hot, and it's going to start melting, and it will expand and explode inside that jug, and the whole thing could blow up. And I'm actually thinking about doing a video. I don't know how to do it like relatively safely. I would have to put the fire in the camera and hit record, put it in there, and then walk away from it and hope it don't blow up my camera. But I'm actually thinking about doing a video saying this is why you don't boil water in a double insulated metal container. And that would actually be a pretty good video idea, I believe. So, but anyway, getting back on track is always carry a single wall metal container with you when you head out into the woods, and know what your boiling points are, where you are located. If you're down here in South Mississippi, closer to sea level, your boiling point is going to be lower than if you're in the let me rephrase that now. You come down here to South Mississippi, your boiling point is going to be 212 degrees. You go up into the mountains, it may be lower. And so you're going to actually have to boil your water longer when you're at higher elevations than you are if you're at lower elevations. That's what I was trying to say. So I apologize. Don't be eating me up in the comments, guys. So, boiling your water is one of the most critical aspects of primitive camping survival and bushcraft. The vast majority of the time, you will collect, boil, and drink water you have fetched from a stream, river, or lake. And so boiling your water will ensure that all the biological contaminants, but unfortunately not all the chemical contaminants, and we know there's a lot of them out there, will have been neutralized and rendered safe to drink. And this is almost like wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat through the whole book, is like we talk about it a little bit, we break it down, why. And we talk about it a little bit, we break it down, why. And we keep on moving throughout the whole book, gear, and then all the way down through water and stuff like that. And so, and once again, right here in the metal container section, we're talking about boiling your water. And we've already went over this. We did a 30,000 foot flyover about it in the beginning of the book here. And when we went all the way through, we did the whole chapter of water, discussed it and everything several episodes back. Before I became comfortable doing podcasts, I was nervous I don't know why I was nervous. It was crazy. All you doing is sitting there talking to the microphone and the camera. But anyway, so a metal container will also allow you to cook your food. It will allow you to make charred material for a fire. It will allow you to carry water and to store food or other items. So metal containers are pretty much invaluable when you get into the woods. A metal container is going to be the thing that you need to have with you when you head out into the woods. I cannot stress that enough. And some people don't get it. You know, they'll bring these plastic Nalgene bottles and you could boil water in it, but who wants to drink that? You know, it's going to release all these chemicals and cancer-causing stuff in it. And I know a lot of you is going to be like, well, if you're drinking rainwater, you're going to have the forever chemicals anyway. Yeah, whatever. You know, it is what it is. And if forever chemicals are in the rainwater, they're in all the water on the planet. Not just being honest, and they're everywhere. So, and I covered that in here too as well. But I use a relatively small 27-ounce stainless steel pot with a lid when I venture into the woods. It's very lightweight. It's very robust. And it's actually one of those Pathfinder survival was a Pathfinder Cup. And it's a neat cup. You know, a lot of people have their personal opinions and everything. I stay out of people's personal stuff. I go off of the equipment. It works, and it's there for what I need it to be there for. It is something to boil water in and to drink out of. Now, I've used that Pathfinder Cup, the 27-ounce stainless steel pot with a lid when I ventured into the woods, and I've used it with Dakota fire holes. I've used it hanging it over the fire. I have stuck it in the fire to boil on the edge of the fire. You know, I've done all kinds of stuff with that thing, and it is an amazing thing. I've actually dug holes with that cup. I've dug latrines with that cup. I've dug, all kinds of stuff. I've dug an entire gypsy well or coyote well, whatever you want to call it. Do not leave comments saying you can't say gypsy. I'll block you and ban you. God, kill me. Politically correct. Never mind. So anyway, I have dug latrines and I've cooked dinner, but ultimately, all in all, guys, and we're going to be wrapping this one up. This was a relatively short conversation or a short topic, but having a metal container with you when you head out into the woods is a very important item to have with you. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. Have some sort of metal container with you. Now, one of the Pathfinder Cup is ideal because, or you can find you an equivalent. You can find, it don't have to be a name brand or anything like that. It could be something just as long as you could boil some water in it, cook some food in it, something like that. A 27-ounce cup is good enough to where you can cook food in that cup and eat it and drink water and boil water and collect stuff. And, just like I mentioned here. So that's good stuff right there. And if you have a metal container, no matter how nasty the water source is, you will always be able to make drinkable water. And that is the truth. That is the honest truth. So let's venture over here a little bit more when it comes to cooking gear in this book. And the reason why I'm venturing over into the cooking gear is because it's all metal containers. And we'll touch on that a little bit. Go to the cooking section here. I'm sorry, not the food section, the cooking section. So cooking is one of my favorite things to do when I head out into the woods. I absolutely love whenever I get to the camp. Everybody likes when I come to the camp because I'm going to cook. I am a huge cooker. I'm an overcooker, and I cook. I was in the military, but whenever I cook, I cook for the entire Air Force. And is a great way to hone your skills, and it brings a lot of joy to your entire day. It brings a lot of joy to your camping trip, and it just brings a lot of like completion. So, and here I do a lot of cooking stuff and talk about it, but pots and pans, as I discussed in here, is, I've mentioned it several times. And water and gear sections, one of the most essential items that you can carry in the woods is a metal container. As long as you choose the best type of metal for your needs, carrying pots and pans for your camping trip will pay dividends in your campsite kitchen. Not only that, it'll pay dividends in your campsite, in your backpack, in your camping backpack, and your gear. So before we wrap this up, we'll go over the different types of metal containers. And, there's titanium. Titanium is the lightest. Titaniums are incredibly lightweight, and they are extremely awesome. They are capable of boiling your water faster than all the other metals. We're talking couple seconds, faster, because metal's metal, and it gets hot, and it's going to cause it to burn. But, the titanium, the problem with titanium is whenever you start to cook on it, it does have hot spots, and it will cause you to burn your food because it's going to get hotter in certain spots than it will. Aluminum does the same thing. But titanium is great. It's lightweight. It has a great strength to it, and that's one of the great draws that titanium has, is lightweight, and it's very strong and durable. Now, the next one, runner up after that, would be aluminum. You could do cups, you could do pots, I got Dutch ovens, I've got all kinds of utensils. These little mess kits that they sell everywhere are usually made out of aluminum, and the cheaper versions they're made out of aluminum. They're lightweight. They're going to last you a couple of trips. They're not going to last you through a lot of heavy use, but they will actually get you by. And if you're going to go on a trip, you're not worried about the durability of these things, and you're not going to use them multiple times, then the aluminum mess kits is the way to go. I mean, you can buy a mess kit from Bass Pro or Walmart or something like that for cheap. I mean, they got them at Walmart for real cheap. You can get those, and they got your plates, your bowls, your cups, your pot, and everything in there. So aluminum is pretty good, but then you're going to get into your stainless steel, and that's how I like what I mentioned a while ago, your stainless steel container in the woods. And I use stainless steel constantly. It is my go-to. I bought the bush pot set from the Pathfinder store or whatever it is, and I got the 10-inch stainless steel skillet, and I got the couple different bush pots and stuff like that. It comes in handy. There's nothing special to it. It's just a pot, and they serve their purpose, and that's all it is. You could get comparable items elsewhere, and I haven't really. I found that the durability of these lasts. The only thing is, the bigger the pot, the more tendency it does have the warp if you lay it on its side and use it as a oven. But after stainless steel, you got cast iron, and cast iron is going to be extremely heavy. So it's not going to be something that you want to put in your backpack when you head out into the woods. So whenever I say you need a metal container to head out into the woods, I'm not talking about a cast iron pot. Unless you're going to be dropped off and you're going to make a base camp, that's where you do your cast iron. But on the other hand, cast iron is the most amazing cooking item. You can use cast iron to cook like crazy. So, I mean, that's good. And then you got enamelware, and enamelware is just some kind of metal that is dipped in enamel. And, I covered those items there because that's the most common variations there. So, but when it comes to metal containers in the woods, man, you're not going to regret taking one with you. And it's going to be one of the most important things compared to a knife, or like in conjunction with a knife. It's going to be one of the most important things that you can bring with you, because you can cook and do your water. And Yeah, there ain't much else to say about it. That's what it is, and that's what it's for. It's for boiling your water, cooking, and digging. You can dig all your holes with it. So, but that's about it for the metal containers today. And I know this one was relatively short, so we're going to jump off of here, and then we'll be back next week with a new episode. And I hope to see every one of you there. If you don't mind, head over to Facebook and click like on the Facebook group, Primitive Camping and Bushcraft. Now, there I just found out that there is one called Camping and Bushcraft. And I did not know that before I created the group, Primitive Camping and Bushcraft. But I named the group on Facebook after the book. And so if you haven't gotten a copy of the book, go ahead and pick it up. You can pick it up on my YouTube store and for like $15 right now. And that is like almost a quarter off, 25% off. So you can pick it up on my YouTube store. You can pick it up on my Shopify store, stuff like that. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the next podcast. God bless you.